superhero hobby video.
Superhero! Let's do it!
Gather around once again, loves. Turns out the Kaji family drama just hit a whole new level. Word is that Ryan's had it with being paraded around like a money-making puppet by his own parents, Loann and Shion. And if that wasn't messy enough, it seems like the twins, Emma and Kate, are the family's next cash cows. Not only that, but Loann and Shion are facing some serious legal heat for shady advertising tactics, and that could land them in big trouble. Yep, the family empire is looking more like a house of cards that's about to collapse. Let's dig into all the drama because this family feud is one that you won't want to miss.
It's a farting gun!
It is super interesting and strange how things can literally change overnight. Ryan has been an internet star, an internet sweetheart right from his very first toy unboxing video when he was just, what, 4? But now you could literally comb through the same internet and not even a single positive story about him. Not one! We wouldn't have thought that Ryan's world would one day be used as a case study for parental exploitation. So in the last video, we broke down how Ryan might be the most kid on YouTube right now. Because let's be real, there's no greater robbery than stealing a kid's childhood, and Ryan got wrapped up in all of this when he was just 4 years old. His mom dropped her teaching career, his dad brought in his tech skills, and boom, they built a toy review empire. At first, it might sound like all good and dandy, like a fun family bonding project, but as time went on, the cracks started to show. Fast forward to over a decade later, and Ryan's parents have literally refused to let him branch out or even try different types of content, even though he's way too old to still be reviewing toys. He's a whole teenager now. Honestly, one look at Ryan's face and you can tell that he's screaming for help. In his last meet and greet, Ryan literally looked like he would rather be anywhere else. No spark, no energy, just tired.
There's a lot of kids who want to be like you. So what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, I would say just be yourself, and if you really like something, you should commit to it and put your time into it.
You'd think that he'd be smiling ear to ear, overjoyed to meet his toddler fan base, but no, Ryan looked like he was ready to tap out. He was so over it, and we can't blame him. I mean, cameras have been on his face since he was practically a baby. It's like every single part of his life is on display, down to the last strand of hair. If you ask me, he probably thinks cameras are the worst things ever invented. So this is an update, and things are way worse than we thought. You might be wondering why a kid who's achieved more than most of us ever will in 2 lifetimes looks so insanely miserable. The sad truth is that Ryan's parents haven't just failed him and his sisters. The system has failed them as well. Because believe it or not, his case has actually been with the feds for years. Yep, years! And yet it feels like they haven't done a thing about it. At least not in the way that they should, and we'll talk about this in a minute. The Kaji family has ridden on poor Ryan's back for years. You literally cannot scroll through YouTube or move past the colorful aisles of any toy store without coming across Ryan's world. They should let him rest, cause what looks like every kid's dream come true, the toys, the fame, the fortune, is actually a whole different story when you peek behind the scenes. Believe it or not, Ryan's picture-perfect life isn't all that it seems. Underneath the playful videos and the million-dollar deals, there is a darker, hidden reality that no one is really talking about. Imagine having every single moment of your childhood broadcast to the entire world, where even the simplest of things, playing with toys or spending time with family, is turned into content for millions to watch. That's exactly the reality Ryan's been living since he was just a toddler, and honestly, it raises a lot of questions about whether he ever got to just be a kid. The tricky part is how Ryan is always on. Every move he makes seems to be polished, rehearsed, and honestly a little too perfect. It's almost like he's reading from a script, playing a character created for him rather than just being himself. And that's where things started getting a little bit unsettling. And you wonder why he no longer has the spark he used to have. He's polite, sure, but there's something missing. Something real.
If you were to make a summer playlist with 4 artists, who would it be?
I don't really listen to individual artists, but my mom really loves Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift, so those two would definitely be on there.
It's hard to ignore the fact that his parents are pushing him to work, even though he might just want to be a kid. The fan meetings, the brand deals, the endless filming, it's a non-stop cycle that's not a fun activity for him anymore, as there's a blurry line between family time and work at this point. Look at it as sharing living with your workmates, and y'all are always together 24/7. I mean, can you think of the last time Ryan was actually alone without cameras rolling? The internet has plenty to say about Ryan's development too. He's at the stage where most kids are figuring out who they are, but Ryan's whole identity seems stuck in this loop of playtime and toy reviews. One user posted, "Is anyone else concerned for Ryan? He's practically a teen, but he's still acting like he's 6. Can't say I support using a real child as the face of a YouTube channel. This isn't just one person's opinion, it's a common theme across social media, with fans and casual viewers alike expressing their concerns." And we haven't even touched on the emotional toll all of this might be having on Ryan. Imagine being constantly under the spotlight where millions of eyes are on you every single day. Even grown adults struggle with that level of attention, so you can only imagine what it's like for a kid. No wonder people are saying that Ryan's development might be at risk, especially when you consider how isolated he must feel from other kids his age. While others are going to school and hanging out with friends and just figuring things out, Ryan is stuck in front of the camera, playing a role that doesn't leave much room for anything else. What makes this all the more complicated is that Ryan isn't the first young star to be pushed into the spotlight by the very people who are supposed to protect him. Remember the time when lifestyle vlogger Loann and Shion accidentally let slip what happens when the cameras are not supposed to be rolling? Jordan was caught on tape coaching her son to look sad for a video thumbnail. Her son was genuinely upset, and yet there she was, pushing him to exaggerate his emotions for the sake of clicks.
Come here. Come closer for the video. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Put your head right here. Come closer. Closer. Down. Put your head down here. Act like you're crying. Really quick.
I didn't cry.
Go like this.
No, Mom, I'm actually seriously crying.
No, I know, but go like this. For the video.
It's just a small glimpse into the lengths some people will go to for internet fame, and it is not hard to draw parallels to Ryan's situation. People were outraged when they saw that video, but then again, Jordan's actions sparked debates about the ethics of using kids as content creators, and it brought up some serious concerns about how kids like Ryan are being treated. The backlash was intense, and it is still fresh in people's minds. This whole situation raises a major red flag. For instance, you'd not help but wonder whether Ryan's just like those other kids' emotions and experiences are really theirs or just another part of the show. The truth is that more often than not, we the audience watch a carefully edited version of his life, while the real Ryan is hidden away behind the scenes. And if you think that's bad, it was also disclosed that Ryan is raking in some serious cash, like $29.5 million in 2020 alone. That's more than most people make in a lifetime, all earned by a kid who probably didn't even understand the concept of money when he started. But it came at a price, because while Ryan might be rich, he's also paying a price that no amount of cash can cover. He missed out on a real childhood, and he's already missing out on childhood moments he will never get back. Speaking of serious cash, another controversy that has clouded Ryan's brand is his parents' dishonesty. They lied that the whole YouTube thing was Ryan's idea when he was 4, and that they were just in it because he loved it and not for the money, when behind the scenes, it was clear evidence of greed and manipulation. TINA.org investigated Ryan's Toys review, now known as Ryan's World. This investigation revealed that the YouTube channel, which at the time of investigation had more than 20 million subscribers and 30 billion views, deceptively promoted a multitude of products of preschool-aged children in violation of FTC law by misleading, blurring the distinction between advertising and original content. So basically, on top of the in-house drama, this organization filed a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission for allegedly not disclosing paid promotions, which would be misleading and taking advantage of their young audience. It looks like Ryan's parents have been dishonest pretty much all their lives, considering his mom once stole clothes worth about $100, only that this time, the dishonesty was on a much larger scale. And it's not like Ryan's the only one in his family caught up in all of this. His twin sisters came as a double blessing package to Loann and Shion, because, I mean, it's like they got 2 for the price of 1, which just means more money for the family. Even the Reddit community is concerned about this. Someone wrote, "And his parents are also his sisters in the same way, I think. He'll have to write a book about it if his parents do take all the money for themselves after the years of videos they made him make. They frequently appear in Ryan's videos, but this is just the growing stage before they start working full-time to feed their parents. Once a family has built their entire brand around one kid, nothing will stop them from doing it again.
Fear disturbs me. We just want a trick or treat. Do you have any candy? I don't have candy yet unless you pass my 3 tests. But first, you want to stay for supper? No, thank you.
Now that I think about it, Emma and Kate aren't in the growing stage. They are already knee-deep into the family business, working overtime like full-grown taxpayers. No, seriously, if you thought Ryan's world was a circus, just wait until you hear what's going on with his little sisters. These two have equally been caught up in the glitzy, messy world of online fame. From diapers to digital camera, nothing is off limits for these two. Never mind that they aren't even old enough to have a say in any of this. It's like one big family reality show with millions watching every move, every birthday, every tantrum. And this brings us to the next part of this sad story. We need to talk about this sharenting syndrome because it's a whole disaster right now. For those who aren't familiar with this term, sharenting refers to the practice of parents, caregivers, or relatives sharing information about their children, underage, online, typically on some online platforms. This can include photos, videos, personal stories, and other updates about the child's life. How parents decide to make their kids' lives an open book for millions of strangers to read is honestly beyond me. While mommy dearest or daddy darling is busy snapping away, you can't help but feel a bit queasy to think that these kids never got the chance to sign up for this. Apparently, sharenting has now become such a big deal, with parents filming every little sneeze and toothfall moment for all to see. Now, the internet isn't a harmless place, and these parents know it, and yet a lot are okay putting up a whole show, which for so many years was fun until people snapped out of it and realized these channels with kids are the main focus and were just low-key shows. People on Reddit are already quick to it, and people have some strong feelings and a vivid divided opinion on the whole thing. Some think that this is wrong for parents to cash in on their kids' cuteness, while others argue it's a learning opportunity. And it's not just the parents, the whole world seems to be in on it, cheering these kids on while they're handed scripts like little actors in a live-action soap opera. Whether it's staged or not, the whole setup just feels off. Sure, they're smiling now, but what happens when they're old enough to Google themselves? Are they going to thank mom and dad for turning their lives into a public spectacle, or will they be mortified that the world has seen every snot bubble and silly face? We live in a world where parents are turning their kids into brands, sharing every moment online for the world to see. It's turned into a full-blown industry where even the most private aspects of a kid's life become content for public consumption. And Ryan's case is just one example of this unregulated influencer culture that has people seriously worried about child welfare. It is not just about Ryan anymore, it is about the entire system that allows kids to be turned into commodities with little to no oversight. When you look at the bigger picture, you start to see just how common this has become. Kids everywhere are being put in front of the camera, not because they want to, but because it's profitable. And while Ryan's story is one of the most famous, it is definitely not the only one. And as more and more children are thrust into the spotlight, people are calling for change. They're saying it's time to put some legal protections in place to make sure kids like Ryan aren't being exploited for views and likes. The world is finally starting to take notice, with lawmakers slowly beginning to talk about new regulations for young influencers. The state of California, for instance, is already geared towards the right direction, as currently there's legislation to ensure children and teens who perform in online content are protected from financial abuse. The fact that such delicate issues have never been clearly outlined is disturbing on so many levels. Imagine the number of kids who have been used to generate online money only to end up with nothing. But for kids like Ryan, these changes can't come soon enough. Every day spent in front of the camera is another day where he's missing out on just being a kid. And while the future might hold some hope for better protections, one cannot help but wonder what becomes of Ryan and all the other young influencers who have already been caught in this cycle. It is not clear whether they will ever get the chance to step away and live a normal life, or if they'll forever be tied to their online selves. The hope is that one day kids like Ryan will be able to break free from this and discover who they really are. But until then, all we can do is watch and wait as the next chapter of Ryan's life unfolds right before our eyes. At the end of the day, the Kaji family, just like thousands of other families caught up in sharenting, seem all in on this fame game, brushing off critics while they cash in on those clicks. But this leaves one big question hanging. Do these kids really enjoy every on-camera activity, or are they trapped in a reality show they never signed up for? I'd love to hear your opinions on sharenting loves. Also, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.